See, if you told me a couple of years ago that I would become Muslim and I would talk about it publicly and live it out openly in Belfast, I never, ever would have believed you.
Belfast sedang terbakar. Orang-orang marah. Jalanan dipenuhi amarah. Dan di tengah semua itu, ada satu kelompok yang ikut menjadi sasaran. Bukan karena terbukti bersalah, tapi karena mereka kebetulan Muslim.
This is the situation across Belfast tonight. We've got buses, cars, bins that have been set alight, and in the distance.
Belfast, kota yang indah, kota yang tenang, kota yang dari kejauhan terlihat baik-baik saja. Tapi sejarah mengajarkan satu hal, tak semua luka terlihat dari luar. Dan kadang, seseorang baru menyadari keberadaan prasangka setelah ia menjadi targetnya. Seorang pria Belfast mengalami itu sendiri. Bukan setelah melakukan kejahatan, bukan setelah melukai siapapun, melainkan setelah memeluk Islam.
Something I've really noticed over the past couple of years, and particularly since I became a Muslim at the end of 2023, is the vitriol in the UK and Ireland that is aimed towards Muslims. It seems like there's a constant stream of very, very negative headlines, and a lot of it is based on stereotypes, in particular for young Muslim men. Media narrative always focuses on extremes, on stereotypes, and I can't help but think that this is intentional to try and create a very negative and damaging view about Islam.
Media menciptakan pandangan negatif dan merusak tentang Islam. Kalimat itu mungkin terdengar berlebihan, sampai Belfast diguncang sebuah perkelahian dua pria dewasa yang menggemparkan. Seorang pria kulit putih, Stephen Ogilvie, terluka parah di aspal kota ini. Rivalnya seorang kulit hitam asal Sudan, berusia 30 tahun. Korban mengalami luka berat dan kehilangan satu mata akibat perkelahian tersebut. Tak butuh waktu lama, orang-orang menyebutnya serangan. Video itu menyebar. Sebuah seruan bergema. Warga Katolik dan Protestan bersatu. Kemarahan meledak. Dan Belfast kembali mengingatkan dunia betapa tipis jarak antara pencarian keadilan dan kemarahan yang mulai kehilangan sasarannya.
People from the Catholic and Green area of Belfast were actually invited here to riot and join together. This is the first time that both sides of the conflict from the Troubles have come together for a common purpose.
This is the situation across Belfast tonight. We've got buses, cars, bins that have been set alight, and in the distance there, fire crews are trying to put out two houses that have also been set alight. It's pretty atmospheric, very tense here on the streets of Belfast tonight.
What is actually happening in Belfast right now, and why is Elon Musk involved? A man in his 40s was left with life-changing injuries after a horrific knife attack in Belfast. The attack sparked shock and anger across Northern Ireland, but very quickly the conversation moved beyond the crime itself and became about immigration. Footage of the attack spread quickly online, and anti-immigration protests began being organised. Then Elon Musk entered the debate. On X, Musk amplified posts about the attack and wrote, "Only by protesting repeatedly and loudly will there be any change." Critics say that comments like that poured fuel on an already volatile situation. Politicians across Northern Ireland have accused social media figures of inflaming tensions, while police...
Rumah ini tidak melukai siapapun. Rumah ini bahkan kosong. Namun malam itu, rumah ini tetap dibakar. Ketika kemarahan berubah menjadi massa, fakta sering mati lebih dulu daripada api. Lalu wanita ini mengajukan pertanyaan yang mengusik akal sehat. Kenapa perkelahian dua pria dewasa membuat semua orang marah? Tapi tahun lalu, 33 wanita dibunuh di Belfast, mereka diam. Pertanyaan yang membuat perdebatan Belfast jauh lebih rumit daripada sekedar perkelahian dua pria dewasa.
Stop belittling it. It was not a stabbing. It was a beheading. Why? Because it happened to a man, is it? Yeah, isn't it wild? When a crime, especially a violent one, happens to a man, we have to make sure to put the most violent way to express it onto it, to make sure everyone understands the sorrows. But when it happens to a girl, it is giving the lightest possible phrasing. We are going to completely ignore the 33 women who was never spoken about, who got murdered in Belfast in the last year. They're not relevant, right? Doesn't matter how they died, doesn't matter who they died, because they're not a man.
Pertanyaan wanita itu masih menggantung di udara. Apakah ini benar-benar tentang keadilan atau ada sesuatu yang lebih dalam? Menariknya, di tengah sentimen terhadap Islam dan imigrasi, ada fakta yang jarang dibahas. Sebagian orang Irlandia justru menemukan Islam bukan karena imigran atau komunitas Muslim. Pria ini mengaku perjalanannya dimulai dari sebuah nasyid yang tak sengaja ia dengar. Dan ia bukan satu-satunya. Ada lebih banyak mu'alaf di Irlandia Utara daripada yang dibayangkan banyak orang. Hanya saja, banyak dari mereka memilih diam. Karena di tempat seperti ini, menjadi Muslim sering dianggap bukan sekedar pilihan, melainkan sebuah pengkhianatan.
I lived in Sussex along the south coast, and I got into the habit at night time of running along the seafront. And I started using TikTok more and more at that point, and I came across these nasheeds. And there was something about the nasheeds that I found very, very powerful and very captivating. I saw a website that said that they would send you a free Quran to read. I'd never in my life read the Quran, and I thought, yeah, I want to get my hands on one of these and see what it's all about. I became Muslim because I became convinced of the truth of Islam and the truth of the Quran. But my reversion to Islam has been experienced by a lot of people in society here as a betrayal, and they have projected that onto me both online and in person. I get a lot of messages online from people telling me they've never heard of someone from Northern Ireland becoming Muslim and sharing their journey in this public way. And to be honest, at times it has made me feel quite exposed. So why do I continue to do it? The truth is, there are more people who've converted to Islam in Northern Ireland than you might realise, but speaking up about it often invites hostility and misunderstanding and judgment. The reason I continue to do it in the middle of all this, it's something I feel passionately about. It has objectively been positive for me in my life. It's transformed my life, and I've seen the positive influence that Islam can have in people's lives, in their families and in their communities. There's so much negative media bias against Islam, but what I experience on a day-to-day basis in the Muslim community in Belfast is completely different.
Pada akhirnya, mungkin ini bukan sekedar kisah tentang perkelahian dua pria dewasa. Karena ketika satu orang melakukan kejahatan, lalu ribuan orang lain ikut dicurigai, ada sesuatu yang lebih besar sedang terjadi. Di Belfast, sebuah penikaman memicu kemarahan. Namun di saat yang sama, seorang pria Irlandia yang memilih Islam harus hidup dengan prasangka yang bukan buatannya. Ironisnya, semakin keras Islam ditakut-takuti, semakin banyak orang yang justru memilih mengenalnya sendiri. Seolah ayat ini menjadi nyata. Jauhilah banyak prasangka. Sesungguhnya sebagian prasangka itu dosa. Sebab prasangka sering berujung petaka, sedangkan kebenaran menuntut pengalaman. Dan pada akhirnya, api bisa membakar rumah. Kebencian bisa membakar hubungan antar manusia. Tetapi keduanya tak pernah cukup kuat untuk membakar Islam yang sudah tertanam di hati. Tak peduli seberapa cepat kejahatan berlari, kebenaran akan selalu mampu melewatinya.